Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
Good afternoon. That's right. Mikey Christmas is in the big seat. Coming to you a little bit later, boys and girls. A little bit later. I got Ryan up there in the nest. Ryan, how are we doing today?
In the nest. Excited to talk DC movie news with Mikey Christmas.
Let's do it. There are some big things that happened this week. Some things that we want to talk about. So we want to get a show out to you guys. So we're making it happen a little bit later than our normal time at 1 o'clock. We're at 2:30 right now because that's what fit our schedules. Because Roxy's off trying to think she can manage in the Schmodown. We all know that's a joke, so that's not going to happen. She's wasting a trip out to Atlanta. Adam's opened up restaurants all over this place, becoming a worst master. He is already a worst master, and now he's
shout out to Adam though.
Peddling his sausages everywhere for the masses.
But congratulations, Adam.
I picture Adam at the top of a castle, like throwing sausages to people. You can eat sausage, and
yeah,
that's
exactly.
when I hear the term worst master.
I mean, the big deal though. Like, congratulations.
Huge deal.
Huge
I admire anyone that can start their own business and admire it immensely because it's not something that I would want to do.
And that's the reason why he's
not here today. So it's just me and Ryan holding it down, but we're here for you guys. I wasn't here last week. I felt bad about that because there's some great stuff we're going to kind of recover. But first off, right out the gate, I just got slapped in the face with this. Ryan was talking about it. I did see a little bit earlier today when I was at work. So the topic is Henry Cavill might play Wolverine in Captain Marvel 2.
Wow.
You say wow, I say BS. Just because my first thing to Ryan was like, who reported this? And then I look at the sites that are reporting it, and I'm like, nope, not gonna happen. It's like we got covered, and a couple other people out there. It's like when this other site runs it.
It's MovieWeb. It's motherofallnerds.com.
Yeah, you throw a bigger, a more reputable source, at me or people that have sources that I would trust. I would believe it. I don't know. I mean, could Henry Cavill play Wolverine? Sure. He'd make a great Wolverine. Wolverine in Captain Marvel 2 seems like ridiculousness. I mean, when I hear stories about like this, Ryan, I always look at the context. Now, Marvel just got back the mutants. Wolverine was their biggest success with Fox. You could arguable that is the character that's the biggest success. I don't think Marvel right out the gate is going to do Wolverine. I think they're going to slowly work back in mutants. I think Cyclops, who is one of the leaders of the X-Men, got kind of the short end of the stick with the whole Fox and their franchise. He was never the kind of leader he was supposed to be. I think I think we're going to no, I do not think they would do Wolverine right out the bat like this. I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's my thought. And then putting him with Captain Marvel doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, it's a weird intro to that character.
Right.
You don't expect him. I don't know if they would have Wolverine come in Captain Marvel. I would expect their own kind of like mutant movie or something of that sort. So it's a little suspect of a report.
Right.
But the idea that Henry Cavill might be in talks or might be taking meetings, I don't necessarily doubt.
We talked about this, Ryan and I were saying. Cavill's done as Superman. He's done.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's done. I
you've
think
been pretty on point with the predictions lately.
Well, all right. My predictions, I can't predict box office to save my life, but when I hear stuff like this, Cavill's done. The only person I don't think that we don't know about yet that I don't think is done is Ezra Miller. And only reason I say this is because of they put him in the Crisis film. Or the TV show. And it wasn't the TV people that wanted him. It was the film people that said, hey, can you put him in there?
Yeah.
I think they're still stuck with him. Not stuck with him. They want him. He's there. He's not off making... Cavill, look at The Witcher. That just blew up. Got a second season. They're going to start going on second season of that.
Mm-hmm. You're up. He's blowing up right now. He's getting out of work. So it's
that's all that does is jack up his price. And his, so he... coming off of Mission Impossible... Fallout. He was in a pretty position. That was where they were talk of his manager was saying he's not done this and that because he was now in a position to go, you know what? I got rave reviews in this film. I got destroyed in JL. I get this movie made, X amount of dollars. Is like, you got to start up in your price. I'm not third fiddle to Batman and Wonder Woman anymore. And his people are probably like, you want him? Pay up.
I mean, yeah.
That's what it is. And that's people, they talk about that. That is the way that the industry works. And you don't want to believe it, but it does. He's not hurting for franchises now. He's got The Witcher.
Do you think the idea of, hey, I mean, Ben Affleck no longer our Batman. They
Right.
recasted Batman. However, they're keeping a lot of now they're not minor characters, but they're not as big as Superman and
I know what you're
Batman.
saying. I know what you're saying. Like Wonder Woman was a massive success, so they're not getting rid of Gal. That whole talk of getting rid of her, that ain't happening anytime soon. Momoa's $1.7 billion Aquaman. He's not going anywhere.
But with Man of Steel,
Yeah.
it's weird because I just don't think he ever had that shot.
He never did, and that's they don't realize is that people love him in the role. They're not saying he's terrible. They really wanted to see him with a director that they feel. I feel Cavill needed a director like Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot. People were saying that Gal wasn't the strongest of actresses, but if you see her with Patty, you know, she brings out something in her. And I think Henry Cavill might be one of those actors that needs a director to kind of take the reins. And Zach is much more of a, I think, in the line of George Lucas, where he's a visual storyteller and lets the actors do their thing. So if you get an actor like Ewan McGregor coming in on the Star Wars film, he doesn't need to be directed. He's going to give you a great performance. I just see it's a missed opportunity, but at this point, we need to move on from it. I think
Man,
it's water under the bridge. I don't know. The DC, to me, has found its footing as far as, you know, not doing a 1, 2, and 3 film build to a 5th film. They're just letting the filmmakers tell the stories they want to tell. So
I mean, is there any hope with this? In that, I feel like Cavill, you know, he put out that stuff on social media a few weeks ago. He even has like Superman memorabilia whenever he snowboards on his outfits. Do you think that this is different from Ben Affleck in that Ben Affleck kind of elected to step back from the role, whereas I feel like they're just not. They just don't have anything for him.
I think that's the point. I think they don't know what they want to do with it. He might be like, hey, if you ever figure it out, call me. I'll do it. I mean, I think that could be exactly what it is.
They couldn't get him for Shazam.
No, so I just think, hey, you figure it out. If you want me, I'll be there. You're going to pay up for it, you know?
They'll be there. I think it's just really, it's sad because if this rumor is true, which we don't think it is, but if
I
it
don't
is
think
true,
it is. Nope.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be excited for him, but
Okay,
I'd just
yeah.
be like, man, a little disappointed that DC just didn't recognize, man, they got this talent here.
Right.
And to see, you know, he had such a presence.
But
in
like
Fallout.
I look at him and I look at Hugh Jackman and I would see them together. They're very similar. Like if you look at that picture of him shirtless in Man of Steel, like they have a very similar body type.
They want someone different.
It would strike me as like, okay, tall, good looking,
Jacked
guy. Like I think you know Wolverine's known for being like 5'3" or something. You know, I wouldn't be surprised in knowing Feige and how faithful he is to the characters if he either they do some kind of work with they did like John Rhys Davies with Gimli and they shrank him down. I don't see them not trying something like that. But to me, Cavill and Jackman, classically good-looking, leading men, chiseled. It's like right out of the same mold. So I'm like, I don't know if they do that. I don't think so. I don't.
It's a fair prediction.
The one I like better, the rumor I heard was Taron Egerton.
For Wolverine?
Yeah, I had heard that rumor, and that I bought much more than I buy Henry Cavill. He's an incredibly talented actor. He's the kind of guy that probably could lose himself in the role, put on some muscle, but also has a much different look than Hugh Jackman. You know, size-wise and
the size thing it's big. I think they need to distinguish themselves, differentiate enough from Jackman.
Much different. They got to do it. It's like Pattinson and Affleck. Those are two different people, man. They're two different distinct-looking guys.
I'm into the Zac Efron pick, which is again.
I didn't mind that either. I'm much more of a Zac Efron for Johnny Storm. I think he's Johnny Storm to me. Anyway, let's move on.
Moving on.
So here we go, breaking down the Batman, the Battinson as we're calling it costume. I was not here for the reveal last night. I'm loving this suit. People are like, Mike, you love everything. And I was like, because I know the comic books. People are like, it looks like it's handmade. That's what it's supposed to be. It's his second year. Now we talked about this. I wanted this new Batman to be like mid-30s, late 30s. Been Batman for 6-7 years, knowing what he's doing. This isn't the Batman we got. We're getting a Batman year 2, you know. And what I love about this suit, when I see it, the more I see it, the more I love it. And again, this is a stunt suit. It doesn't fit as good as it's going to fit on Pattinson. The helmet, the ears look a little wobbly to me, but that's probably because they're rubber. And because if he falls off that thing, it's a helmet, you know, so they're not fiberglass or whatever it would be.
Right.
You know, I don't think that's the final call. But what I love is if you look at the chest piece, in the shoulders, that looks much more refined. Like that he took time on it, and then like the arms look kind of pieced together. It looks like he's building the suit as he's going along. Like the suit, you can see it has like the molded kind of to form abs, whereas his shoulders, it looks like he's got some kind of thing strapped over his suit.
Right.
It doesn't look. It looks like it's in progress, and I love that. But then one guy, they did a picture. I've seen this a couple different places. They took what they think are the inspirations. The cowl being from Gotham by Gaslight, the Batman vs. Jack the Ripper story. The chest was kind of Lee Bermejo's Noel, Batman Noel influence. For me, it strikes as 0 Year. That's a Scott Snyder.
In a 0 Year.
Greg Capullo with the motorcycle kind of, in 0 Year it's a weird way to say it. It sounds like it's before he was Batman, but it's actually Batman. And if I'm remembering it correctly, there was an incident that kind of destroyed Gotham. I'm trying to remember it.
Was it apocalyptic at all?
Yeah, it was very apocalyptic. But we had Gordon. He knew who Batman was. This was him kind of going back to basics. It was like Gotham was cut off from the world, from the United States for a little while, and like the city was overrun with like trees and weeds, and it was kind of like a no man's land. And so he kind of pieced all this suit together. So when they say 0 Year, it's
wish you have that image.
Not so much of like Batman before he was Batman. He was Batman already, but it's a great run. And then they're saying the stuff on his arms look like the talons from the Court of Owls. What I see, and people have asked me, I think those things on his arms, a closer up shot I saw, they look like nozzles. So I think he shoots gas out of it. Like when he's fighting, he can shoot gas into someone's face or something. To blind him or mace him or something.
Oh, so gas.
That's what I think. People are saying it looks like darts. I hope it's not darts because that is so trite to me. We've seen that in so many different movies where everyone's got the darts on their arm that they shoot. I hope that's not him. But it looks like gas to me. Like they're nozzles to shoot gas.
What do you think of his arm? So you think that's his arm pieces, the things on his wrists? There's on his forearm there seems to be.
Yeah, these things?
Right.
Yeah, I think those are gas shooters.
And you're still under the belief that his chest piece is the pieces of the gun?
Yeah, I think so.
I love that.
I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. I think it fits.
The cowl is interesting. I remember in Dark Knight, what was so interesting about the ears is they use that for the sonar ability.
Right.
I wonder if they carry that over. They look just a little...
Now, what I'm curious about are the goggles, because we've seen Pattinson in the costume reveal. He doesn't have them. Now, I have two thoughts. One, they slide down when he drives, or two, it's just for this stunt scene so that the guy can see. Because it looked like it was raining and muddy and wet out there. And we saw the video of him falling on the bike because it was wet.
Yeah.
Are those just put in so he can see when he's driving? Motorcycle riders wear goggles, they wear glasses, they wear shields to cover their eyes.
Right.
Are these just for the stunt guy? Are they going to be removed digitally? Or because it doesn't look like it's not. I would think this kind of year 2 Batman, if he wore goggles to drive, he would have some kind of strap around them.
Well, you were also not. I don't think you were on the week where we got. Oh no, you were when we got the red video.
Yeah, yes.
He didn't have the goggles.
No, that's what I'm saying. He didn't have them there. So, do they slide down when he drives? I'm of the mind that I think that they're just for the stunt guy.
You think so?
Because you didn't show him in the costume reveal.
Right.
I think
it'd be different enough though if it wasn't.
But we know that his costume, especially the cowl, is very handmade with leather stitching. I don't think he'd put electronics in it. But maybe he does. Maybe it's the leather's pulled over an electronic cowl. I don't know, guys. I think this is the best thing. What I love about this time of year in a Batman film production is the speculation. I get so creative. My personal, I've been working on my new bat suits all week. I've been building bat belts and, tearing my garage or my living room. I apologize to my girlfriend. She's been such a good sport. I've got bat belts and cowls all over my kitchen table because I get so creative and I love this process. I could be completely I love the collar, the high collar. I love.
Really awesome.
I'm just sold on this look. I would have loved a gray and blue. I really would have. But this is what we got, and I'm kind of on board, And people are talking like the scallops hanging off his things. They're like, the blades look bendy. I was like, if you look at them, there's just straps that he pulled to put the gauntlet on, and it kind of formed what we're used to with the kind of scalloped on his things. It's just the straps he pulled. So, I don't know. Anything else on that we want to talk about, Ryan? Because we can move on.
I think we can move on. But the last part, I'm just curious with the mic here. Is
what's that, buddy?
You see all these influences from the
I
comics.
do. Yeah.
0 Year. Do you think? storyline wise, seeing that those set photos, that video was going to be in a graveyard site, does that relate to any comics for you?
No. Well, they say the big influence right now is the Long Halloween, the murder mystery. But I'm not going to post pictures of this. I think it's already been taken down. There was a set pic that was leaked. It was a murder victim. It seemed like he was in the same chair that Matt Reeves tweeted the clapboard of, that big leather chair, but it was a dead body, its face all wrapped up, like a blood across its mouth. It came up briefly online and then it was taken down. I didn't post it on my page because that kind of stuff I don't want to post.
Right.
But apparently WB was on a Reddit thread and they went after it. But it looked creepy as hell, like terribly creepy. Like, this is going to be a murder mystery, I think.
A real detective.
Yeah, and if you guys are fans of Batman, there's a comic out now called The Batman's Grave. I think it's Grant Morrison, and I know it's Brian Hitch. It is Batman. If you want to see Batman as a detective, pick this comic book up because it's fantastic, and it's a murder mystery. This is him. I think, we see these gothic sets, which I love. That shot right there you're throwing up there. To me, and I'm in such a debate with people, like, do you think the capes can be added CGI? Because with The Dark Knight, when he had the Bat Pod, they originally didn't have the cape, and they were going to have it in that backpack he wears, and it was going to fold out. But the stunt people said, no, I can ride the bike without the cape getting caught, and they tried it, and it didn't catch. So I'm curious because it does look in some of those set pics where the clasps where they would connect, there's no CGI like little tracking dots that we've seen like Affleck in his suit when he was on top of the car for Suicide Squad. So I kind of think he's not wearing a cape. People think it's going to be added CGI. I don't know. I don't think it will because I don't see the tracking dots.
That villain you were describing, or the dead body, does that remind you of any villain in particular?
What it reminds me of, if you played the Arkham games, there's a side mission with Professor Pig where he's strung up these bodies all throughout Gotham and you got to find them and their faces are all destroyed and covered in bandages, but it's just a creepy Gotham thing to me. It's not just a dead body. This is a messed up victim that was tortured or something. So it fits Gotham to me.
So it's just a Gotham villain.
Yeah. And what I will say this: if you didn't notice on the picture with his face, and people are saying that's like Affleck's chin. If you look closely, at first I thought it was mud on his face, but if you look, they're tracking dots. They're black dots all over his face, and so clearly they're going to put Pattinson's face in there. For me, I thought it was like, oh, he's got a mole. He's got a couple of them. Oh no, it's mud. And there's like, oh wait, they're tracking dots. So he's got these black tracking dots, a couple places on his jaw and chin.
Right.
So they're going to put in Pattinson's jaw with that. That's why I don't think there's going to be a cape, because there's no tracking dots around his suit for the cape.
It's going to be mostly in post.
So, yeah. Could be wrong. I could be wrong again.
Well, a couple quick shout-outs from the chat. Again,
what do we got?
Thank you all so much for tuning in each and every week to DC Movie News. We love your support. A lot of people just sharing their opinions on the suit. We got Ivan Soto saying, like even the Batwoman show right now has the white eyes, and they look very cool. So maybe those goggles could be in place for the white eyes.
Sure. Absolutely.
It depends on the material for the blue and gray. For all we know, if they're CGIing Battinson in under the chin, they could be doing different stuff to the suit. But as far as we know, it looks pretty black to me.
Yeah, I think the suit is staying what it looks like right there. Yeah.
A lot of people saying that the talons could look pretty. The talons on his forearms look a little suspect.
Okay.
A lot of people agreeing with you on the gas part.
It looks like gas to me, and it's something we've never. I try and think of it as like, what have we not seen with Batman? Like we talked about, his car is going to be a muscle car. We haven't seen that in these films yet, or in Batman films live action. We haven't seen like a sports car, muscle car, Batmobile. So I think they're trying to do everything they can to differentiate this Batman from what's been before. I wouldn't be surprised if his grappling hook looks completely different.
A lot of people saying that a no-cape Batman could be really cool.
It's not Batman to me.
Yeah.
There's certain things you got to have. You got to have the cowl. You got to have ears. You got to have a cape. It's Batman.
There you go.
I mean, Batman Beyond, even though he didn't have a cape, he did still get wings. I don't know. He's got a cape. We saw it in the costume reveal when he's walking to the camera. We see the thing kind of coming. So he's got a cape. Anyway, moving on. This real quick. Ben Affleck says the door is closed on the Batman, and I put this, Ryan, in the little category of no S. I'm being PG here today. No S. ... T. He's done. He's done. He's given Pattinson a seal of approval. What I hate, and we've seen, I think you guys talked about it last week, is we know he wanted to keep going, but if you look at him now in interviews for this, the way back, look how good he looks.
He looks better.
He doesn't look puffy. He doesn't look tired. He looks happy. Look at him and go back and watch like the Justice League and the BVS interviews. He looked awful.
It was sad flick.
And you could just tell. And I hate that we deal with this because I sat here at this table for so many times and going, it's the fans that just destroy this guy. Like, he didn't want to do a superhero movie. He didn't, after Daredevil, he didn't want to go through that again. But they brought him back and he's like, you know what? This will be different. And he comes back. And then right off the bat, they start on that. The fans go after him. The press go after him, because it's not like, that's the reason. And they said that. He said, I had a script for the Batman and people said it was good, but I'm going to drink myself to death if I do it because the fans, and it sucks. But now fans love him. And they want Affleck. They hate Pattinson. They say he looks like crap and his suit looks like crap and they love Affleck now. I was like, yeah. 6 years ago, you didn't love him, and you attacked him, and you did the sad Affleck memes, and now we're here again. And
and I don't know if it's
I hate it.
I don't know if it's all on the fans. I think a large portion, but I also think just maybe the film didn't perform as well as he thought it would. I think there were some things behind the scenes and personal.
It came out at a time, Marvel was at the height. Civil War just came out. Spider-Man's introduced the Marvel Universe. They were firing on all cylinders, and it just was guns blazing against BVS and tearing it apart. And he took the brunt of it. He really did, and his personal life was falling apart. It just sucked for that guy.
It did.
And you could see it going on. You could see it, and what they went through, and no crap he's done.
I also think
it just sucks.
In a few interviews, we talked about this a little last week in an Esquire interview. He's been doing a ton of press for the way back, so he's been talking about this, and he just said he wasn't in a point in his life. He was in a point in his life where these types of movies just didn't mean what they had always meant to him. I mean, this is a guy who has a bat cave in his house. He's a massive fan, and it just so happens, he was going through some personal stuff. I think he's moved on. He jokingly even said today, I was just seeing this in an article, that he would be, again, joking, down to come back in 20 years and maybe even do The Dark Knight Returns.
There you go.
Fan with open arms over here.
See,
for me.
now, it's funny because people want Michael Keaton for that. And I think that would be awesome as well. I think Affleck has the look and the build to do the Dark Knight Returns Batman. We're at the point, like, Keaton's there right now.
Keaton's there.
Right now. And I don't think we're going to get that from him. He's over in Marvel right now. I don't think...
It would be cool.
I don't think the people at WB are thinking that right now.
It's tough because it's all this. It's the franchise. It's your...
Now, I'll say this, Ryan. I want Michael Keaton to do Batman Beyond.
Oh, really?
I would love that. Put him with like a younger actor, and I would love Ben Affleck to be the Dark Knight Returns Batman. Yeah. He just looks like the bigger version, but
it's entanglement in the franchise, and they're trying to keep some continuity, but also recasting. I think it's just they're following what's working right now, and they're kind of abandoning what didn't.
Yeah, and hey, they got to move forward. All right, so next up we got the Suicide Squad star Nathan Fillion explains why he joined the world of DC. They report basically, essentially, James Gunn was one of his good friends. He's one of the people in life, he says, that when he calls, I pick up the phone, I say, yes, whatever you want, you got it. They did a film called Slither together years ago. I think it was like 2006 or so, or 7. Horror film, great film. I think Elizabeth Banks was in that as well. So, he shows up, your friend calls and he shows up and there he is, and he'll do anything for this guy. So I think that's a great friendship they have. He says James is an amazing storyteller. The guy understands story and he loves to tell story. So when he says something he's got something fun to do, it's going to be satisfying. So,
and I mean, Mike, you're in this world. You report everything.
I try.
Comic book geek. This is a guy who is just beloved by fandom.
He is, and I'll say this because I did not work with him on Castle when I was on it, but he went out of his way to treat me so good on that couple, little bit that I was there. Such a good guy. Just everything that you hear about him on set. He was just a delight to hang out with for a little bit that I got to work with him.
That's so good to hear.
To talk to him on that day.
And I mean,
he's just such a good guy. And I know people that know him much better. They actually here in Los Angeles and hang out with him. And they say that he is who he is on screen, who you think he is that person in real life.
Do you think the the fact that fans have just been clamoring for him to get in a comic book film in general over the past few years. And I know with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, he just played a small character CGI. You couldn't even see his face on screen.
Yeah, he was just the voice.
How excited do you think this is going to make?
I don't know. I think because I don't think he's going to be on any of the publicity for this film.
No,
I don't think so because I don't think so. I think he dies very early. I think he's one of those guys that's going to die spectacularly at the beginning. I think we've seen so many different versions of cast for this film. Like we saw that picture of all those spectacular costumes that the guy like the white long hair,
right?
And you're like, oh, they're all dying early. And then Idris Elba and his group are going to come back and be the front runners. You're going to see Idris Elba on the cover, Margot Robbie,
right?
Those people, they're going to be on the posters. I don't think Nathan Fillion will, but they might do what they did with the Suicide Squad, the first one, and each individual posters and stuff. So I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm speculating, guys and girls. I don't know.
It's interesting. I think it's going to just make a lot of Castle fans so happy to see him in the movie. I bet we get him a little bit.
But you're going to be pissed off if you see him for the first scene and he's dead.
I don't
People
think
will be pissed off.
I think he's going to be in more of it than you think.
We'll find out. All right, you going to take bets against me on this one, Ryan?
You know what? Yes.
I'm saying he's dying in the first 20 minutes.
Oh, I got an hour and a half.
Okay. So we both agree he dies.
Yeah, we both agree.
I'm saying he's done. I would even say if they have a pre-credits sequence, he's done in the pre-credits. He's done.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see. What's the next story, Mike?
What do we got? David Dastmalchian. Dastmalchian wraps production on the Suicide Squad, also known as the Polka Dot Man. That's right. Roxy knows him quite well.
Yes, and I mean he was also in Dark Knight.
Yeah, he was Richard Schiff. Or Thomas Schiff.
Thomas Schiff
in Dark Knight. He was on the TV show MacGyver. He's on Ant-Man. He's God, I should know his name. Is it Kurt?
Oh yeah.
He's part of the trio with Lewis and Dave. Kurt. He's from ex-con, the bad guy, the security group in Ant-Man.
Right.
Baba Yaga. You talk about Baba Yaga. That's my Russian version.
It sounds like they're really making headway filming this.
But he seems like he's a big part of it because there was that shot they had of him, Idris Elba, looked like Ratcatcher and Harley Quinn on set down in, was it Panama?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was his last couple days. He wrapped on that.
And I think, there's a ton of stories we have here with the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, there's a lot kind of wrapped into this.
Just going in with, it seems like the actors are just having an incredible time on set, nothing but positive news.
Yep.
And also that James Gunn, I have a feeling that they're getting close to wrapping production because he's even...
They're starting to wrap the cast, the characters up. Like it seems like every couple of days someone's like, hey, so-and-so wrapped, so...
It's one by one.
Right. We just had... was it Steve Agee?
Steve Agee.
His character they had a birthday post about him. He was a Ravager in Guardians 2, and now the rumor is that he's King Shark, but then someone, and I think it was Gunn himself, kind of tweeted out, like, not playing who you think he's playing. Because he's been on set with, like, a gray mocap suit, and he kind of has this, like, light ring around his face.
Really curious.
So I'm like, does that, would that create the jaw of King Shark?
Who are you thinking?
I thought King Shark. We've already seen Killer Croc, and I thought King Shark. I don't know if they're doing a misdirect to kind of throw us off.
I
don't know.
It's a misdirect.
Don't know, buddy. I have no clue on that one.
All right, what else we got?
No, this is kind of sad. James Gunn shut down production to say goodbye to his dog. This sucks.
This really sucks.
They talk about how he had done a post about how everyone at WB, they realized the amount of money that would cost to shut down the production for the weekend. His dog, I guess, was dying or was going to pass away, and they shut this down so he could go be with the dog.
What's interesting?
Man, that sucks.
And I mean, that really sucks. What's interesting about this story, though, is the fact that I think they just speaking on a studio monetary side of this, it's a lot to shut down production. That's no small feat. That's no like, all right, we're off today. That's a lot of money.
Right.
I think the fact they must have so much confidence in this film and him helming it, that he has it so under control that they were like, yeah, we'd rather have our director in a proper state of mind or handle a tragedy like this than force him through something just to save money. I think. It sucks all around, but I also do think that is a sign that this movie is in really good hands.
Yeah, they love James Gunn. They gave him. He said, didn't he say like he had his pick of who they wanted, what he wanted to do at DC, and there were 3 properties, and this was one of them.
This was the one, and
it's interesting because people are saying that this is the film it's going to be interesting to see with the fallout of Birds of Prey, which I saw recently. They're saying it's going to end its run like around 220, 250.
I know.
Holy crap! I mean, it made its budget back. I think it'll be in the black if that's what the term is, that it made some money. Not much, but again, it's still befuddled at that. I don't know what happened with that.
People gotta go see it. Still in theaters. Keep
Yeah. Jeffrey Wright teased his Jim Gordon prep. He had posted a picture of, it looked like an omnibus of one of the great runs of the comics. Let me see if I can pull up the picture here for you guys. And he's just talking on set. Here he is. Yeah, there it is. The Golden Age Batman Volume 1. Background reads for the culture. In the beginning, he tweets out. I don't remember if Gordon came in that early. I'm reading this great Batman, the Collective History book that came out back in October right now, and they talk kind of decade by decade what happened with Batman. And I don't think Gordon... I'm not a big Golden Age fan of the comics. I'm not. The Golden Age, the Silver Age, I got into it more with the I guess they'd call it the Modern Age in the 80s, was when I started reading comics. I did like the 70s, the Bronze Age stuff was really cool. But for this early stuff for me, it was never a fan of it.
Yeah, he put it on Instagram, and it looks like it looks like it's a Golden Age Volume 1.
Right. These are these collected editions that they release every now and then.
It just looks like they're going with different directions for this Batman, as they should, because we need something a little bit new. And I think it's really... I'm so psyched to see Jeffrey Wright in this role. Again,
it's a completely different take on the character, of what we're used to with Gordon.
And I think that's what you need to do.
You do. They went the classic J.K. Simmons with the mustache and the trench coat and the hat. I think this is going to be a completely different take on him, and you need to do that. You need to... separate. But Jeffrey Wright is such a good actor, If you're going to do different, do it different like that way. Go big.
All right.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
The Joker actor in Birds of Prey was revealed. I read this recently. He's a goth rocker, right? No, Johnny Goth is his name. Yeah, California-based musician was the stand-in for the Joker.
And we saw some set photos where it looked like there was a Jared
Yeah, and he had said, I remember reading this, he said a friend had put him in touch. They were needing someone to do this. They needed to fit the size, and they needed to fit in Jared Leto's clothing.
Yeah.
Because they used the same outfit, and this guy fit the bill. A musician out of California named Johnny Goth.
Johnny Goth.
And there he is having some ramen noodles on set? Some kind of Asian food there in the box.
Some kind of Asian food.
Well, did you know that those boxes, Chinese takeout, they're designed so that you unfold them and it's a plate?
I actually did not know that.
Those little white boxes of Chinese food, when you get those, they're designed so you unfold them and it's the plate. Learn something new every day.
That is a major takeaway.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there you go. You learn educational on DC movie news just for you guys.
Ding.
Yep. I don't know, but that's a big plate with the brown ones, but I think that's because it's recycled material.
And I think they just they ended up cutting out the character entirely, whether stand-in or not. He was
in there. We saw him.
We saw the highlight of
it. Yeah, no, I don't think he was going to have any lines. I think he was a stand-in. He was being used for shots from behind, over the shoulder, like that when they're tattooing that one guy's face. The Joker was there. Just he wasn't going to do anything major.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah. All right. TV time. Got a couple quick bits. Are we going to play the song? Are we going to play it?
Let's
play
not
the
even
song. Even though she's not here. Roxy being terrible in Atlanta.
Talk about Roxy during the song.
Roxy thinks her team sucks. She can't manage to damn. Oh, Roxy. Oh, Roxy. We miss you, Roxy. Have fun not winning in Atlanta.
Speaking of Harley Quinn.
Anyway, Alfred Pennyworth Season 2 on Epix adds 5 cast members. Jeez Louise. Oh, James Perfoy, I like him. Edward Hogue and Jesse Romero are joining the cast for the season. Also note that Ramon Tickaram and Harriet Slater have been elevated to series regulars.
Did you watch any of Pennyworth?
Didn't watch it at all.
I watched a considerable amount of it. I also produced the after show here. We had a few members of the cast come into studio or Skype in just to talk about it. And also for Comic-Con this past year, I actually went to the Pennyworth Experience, which was
You did, yes. You told us about that. Yes, you did.
So cool. So well produced. This show is getting... I'm shocked because it's on Epix, and Epix, I just feel like, is that premium channel that barely no one has.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to watch it, but I'm like, Epix, I don't even know what else Epix has.
Right.
Like, throw this into DC Universe. Why on Epix?
I completely agree with you.
Throw it on DC Universe. I'm loving DC Universe. The comics I'm reading on that damn app, it's worth it alone.
I'm shocked.
The comics.
I'm shocked this show even exists still because it's so well made.
That's what I'm saying. The pilot was great.
It was great.
Put this on a network that people know.
it deserves a lot more love. I'm psyched that they're getting a season 2 because I know that they were a little they
that's
weren't certain
great
about it. But yeah, really cool that they're getting season 2. I bet they're just going to keep doubling down. Hopefully they do expand it beyond Epics and we get it maybe on HBO Max. I think that'd be a really great move for them because more people will tune into this.
Yeah, it's getting great reviews. The pilot was awesome. Put it on a show that we can watch it.
Everyone loved watching.
They create this great 60s England. It's kind of like a DC version of the 60s England. I love that. I love it.
It's really cool. So check out Pennyworth. Congrats on the people getting raised.
Yeah, good for them. That's fantastic. Final bit of news, guys. Spider-Man 2's Alfred Molina Cast as Mr. Freeze in the Harley Quinn cartoon. Do you watch this cartoon?
I've seen the first 3.
Dude, I didn't know what to expect with this thing because I've been on a Batman the Animated Series kick, so I've been going back and rewatching this. I'm tuning into Harley Quinn. That show is R-rated. Like, there was a line, and I don't know, did you see the trailer for the 2nd season where there's like this giant guy and Poison Ivy's like, I wonder how big his...
Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
It's the hardest R and
I'm
so
loving
funny.
it. Like,
and really clever. Like the comedy.
Oh man, like Joker's like, I want an electric car, Batman.
And,
like
they
go there.
They made this whole 2nd season. They recorded all the voice acting. And they just want to see how the first season would perform. It performed so well. They're immediately going into 2.
And again, it's one of those things I think people have given up on the DC app from what I'm hearing, the universe, because we're in this nebulous. We don't know if it's going to HBO Max because a lot of people don't know that HBO Max is not just HBO. It's like the Warner Brothers films and stuff. Mm-hmm. They don't understand that. So I'm just kind of like, they launched that app, DC Universe, and I give them credit for launching it before they even had content for it. And then the content came. The content, Titans 2, Season 2 was great. Doom Patrol people loved. Swamp Thing people loved. This they loved. So everything that's come out on this either was okay, like Titans, and got better, or started great. So it's like, this stuff is great. It's just the platform itself. It's still not available. And people are telling me on Twitter today, it's not available in Canada. It's not available in England. And I guys, to you, all I say is this. I just think DC is part of WB, and they own HBO and all that. You know, we've seen it with Watchmen. I think this DC Universe app is going to get folded into HBO Max somehow. Because how do you sell, hey, we've got an app that has 25,000 comic books to people that want HBO and HBO Max? It's two different things.
Right.
Like Disney Plus, I rave about it, but everyone's saying is like, wow, I watch The Mandalorian, I don't really watch anything else. And they don't have the Marvel Comics on that app. You know, they don't have Marvel Universe or Marvel Unlimited, whatever. It's their subscription service. So it's like, the DC Universe is this weird thing, and I want them to find a way to combine that with the HBO, get it all out there with all the Warner Brothers stuff, but still you got to keep this comic book. 25,000 comics, it's insane to me.
And the quality is so high.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
I think it's a weird, I think the people that own DC Universe, that they're working on it, are like, Jesus, we've got this great thing.
Yeah.
Our platform's not working. We got to get it out. Something's got to change. Something's got to change. They got to fix something.
They got to change it up. But yeah, Harley Quinn is worth DC Universe alone.
That show's
so funny. Oh my gosh, the funniest show of last year.
Yeah, it's great. That's it. We covered it, Ryan. We did it.
We did it,
guys. Thank you for joining us for this quick little show. Hopefully, we'll be back full strength next week. Roxy Stryer, you can find her at Roxy Stryer, right?
Yes, you can find her at Roxy Stryer. Adam Gertler, you can find at
Adam Gertler. Ryan?
You can find me at Ryan Nilsen, RYNILSEN.
I'm at Mike Kalinowski. Reach out to us, Twitter, Instagram, ask us questions. Let's talk DC throughout the week so we can have a bigger show next week. I'll hopefully be back. Ryan will be here as always. Hopefully these guys will join us. It'll be DC News. We'll see what happens next week. Guys, I'm out. All right, guys, that's it. We're out.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only.